Hi there everyone, Musical David here. That's an MD-11 in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. We're on the ground in Memphis. There's not much in the way of air traffic control on Vatsim, so I don't even know if we'll bother logging in. Oh yeah, right, whatever. Anyhow, we're going to be flying this aircraft from Memphis here to Louisville, which is the home of the other place, you know, that MD-11's fly out of UPS DX. So 2401 is our call sign, as in the year 2024, flight number 1. I don't have too many characters in my call sign. There we go. Hi there, Ernie. Yes, I've actually got home today. Didn't spend 3 hours on a train with the rest of Melbourne, apparently. According to the news, somebody pushed a woman off a platform at Richmond train station, which is between Richmond, the MCG, and Flinders Street. I catch a train at Flinders Street. And all but one of the lines into the city run through Flinders Street. So we all got kind of delayed for somewhere between 40 minutes if you're lucky, or 3 hours like I did. Anyway, we're here today. MD-11, nice and purple, good old FedEx livery. We have the front door open, aircraft's on ground power. I'm just going to go around it. We're not in a rush, we don't have any air traffic control, so we'll take our time. Apparently it's twitchy, that's interesting. I haven't flown it yet, so we'll see how that works for us. No, 4th of July, Jackson Hole. What's at Jackson Hole? That's 4th of July-ish. I don't understand the context. Anyway, down here we have a weighted thing that kind of attaches to the nose wheel, and that's so that you can load the aircraft without it tipping on its tail, because it has a tendency to do that, as you can probably tell with the weight distribution of having a massive tail in the engine. Might go ahead and get GSX to do something for us. I'll do that now. I'll get on the ground power as well. Yeah, I figured that, with the big third engine in the back. And because of the way the weight distribution has to work when you're loading the aircraft, you load through that big main front door. Then you have to push the containers away to the back to get another container in. So yeah, that's pretty fun. Yep, it's a pretty dirty aircraft. But you get that working for FedEx. I also found that getting all the way over to where the APU button is, which is over there, is a little bit difficult. So I've actually had to set up some custom views, including this one, so I can get all the way to the APU, which is insanely over here.
Engine 1, fire.
Let's get these started. Don't need the APU yet, we'll just leave it on the power there. And And I was wanting to open up a couple of things. We'll start the GSX loading process actually. Oh yeah, I got GSX working again. I figured out what that was after the reinstall. So that was good. We'll request what? Boarding.
Boarding requested. Do you want to board crew?
Yeah, why not?
Crew bus is coming.
And another thing I did was put the this thing. Sorry. Here. So I can walk around the aircraft without leaning over too much. PNDG MD-11? I doubt that. No, they're not going to do that. PMDG's MD-11 was actually made by the same people who made the Phoenix A320. Not Phoenix, sorry. The FS Labs A320. Same group. Look at that door. That's a repaint issue. Next time I'll have that fixed. I don't know what the issue with that is. It's only affecting this particular livery with the Panda bear on it. So yeah, as you load these cargo containers, as they go inside, you obviously have to push them all the way back towards the tail to get the next one in. And at some point, the aircraft will tip on its tail if you don't have that big weight on the front. So you've got a big engine back there as well. So the engine, the aircraft flies fine when you've got quite a bit of weight up the front on this end. But yeah, just the way to load the aircraft, you have to put stuff in the back before you can put it in the front, because the door's up here. You can't put stuff through. Yeah, PMDG don't really do Airbus. They started with Boeing. They have friends at Boeing. They're from America, so I guess it just never made sense for them to do an Airbus, which is fine. We have Phoenix. Here's the toilet, but unfortunately there's, as usual, no toilet inside. We just have a hole. If you're going to go to the toilet, just open the door and poop down there.
Memphis traffic, FedEx 8 Heavy taking off runway 36 center Memphis.
I wonder if we could do a full walk around from this view. That'd be hilarious if we could. I'm not sure if the entire aircraft exists in this view. It might. I think it does. We can do a full walk around from this view. Oh, that's too cool. Oh, absolutely. If BGG made a A350, people would start talking about how any build will be cheaper or whatever, but yeah, that'd make some bucks. FedEx Panda Express. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good looking aircraft. I did a little bit of flying with it yesterday, didn't do too much. I popped out of Memphis and I went into, I think it was Birmingham, Alabama. No scenery there, just default, but barely left the runway. And I just put a few of these extra key presses on so I could do this. Hi there, Robert. Most aircraft, once you've figured out how the automation works with an FMS, they're variations on the same theme. Essentially they're all doing the same thing, but they might display it in a different way. So you have to really talk to the computer rather than just, you know, doing steps. It's like, I want the computer to do this. And you just like figure out what it's telling you. Read, understand, figure out when it's when you're not looking quite in the right place, and then move on. I've got the P3D version. Interesting. Not sure I'll bother with P3D because we are slowly moving out of that simulator. Apparently PMDG's actually delisted their P3D products and they may never come back. It's like, it's literally costing us more to keep them than the sales they're making. They're just sitting there taking up server space. Then of course they got rid of all the 777s for the 777 release because they didn't want people buying the wrong one. It's like, oh, the G777's nearly coming out. It's not quite out yet, but I've found a secret way to buy the P3D version. And then have to get a refund. Yeah. So they just took it off their site. And there was a rumour that they might not ever put it back. There is no add-on manager. Why would there be an add-on manager? It's all inside the that thing. You don't need anything from the add-on manager. Payload? Want to upload your payload? Well, that's what that's for. Or you can do a dispatch from SimBrief, and you can set the payload and fuel like that. Boom, it's already happened. That came direct from SimBrief. You can even select the flight plan like that. Apparently I'm not signed in with Navigraph, so I'm just going to do a little bit of hold off for a second. Someone sent me a private message apparently. Ah, that's the auto thing. Alright, cool. Look at that. Navigraph code. I will get that ready. Cool. I just need to do a thing. Cool. Automatic update. I think you just literally run the installer again and it automatically checks if there's updates. I've already updated it once like that. So yeah, just keep your actual installer somewhere and then run it once every couple of months or whatever. Right, we're up in the main cargo. We'll be using runway 18. No, it's 36s at the moment. Sorry. So yeah, just run your launcher again. Keep it somewhere safe. Or just download it again if you need to. Alright, clearance delivery services, squawk, blah blah blah, I've applied it. That's fine. What I'm going to do is send the flight plan. Let's see what that looks like. Cool, I've got a PNDG. Sorry, got an MD-11. Memphis to SDF, what was our Covington CVG? I believe it was going to be 390. Jeez. FDX. (2401) initialize. Next page. Block fuel is indeed 39.6. Takeoff gross weight's going to be 367. Gordo. Takeoff CG 27.9. It's already pulled that in from the FMF, or from the EFB. Just click them and they'll come up. Fuel dipstick, eh? Fuel SDF will be 24,000 pounds. Let's do ourselves a performance. Get the weather, get the tow. Thrust setting will be flex. Yeah, we'll just do that. That'll be on for the packs. It reckons flaps 28, which I think is insane, so we're going to do less than that. Let's do, what, 15? Cool, flap 15 gives us these speeds down here. 135, 135. I like it when the V1 and the rotate at the same speed. Means we're doing something right. Climb out V2 is 144. Flex 59. Actual outside temperature is 28 Celsius. Slope is 0. What's the wind doing? We can tell that from the ACARS. Not ATIS. Weather. I might actually move this into position. Okay, it's going to be KMM. Grab both at the same time. Message. Message. Memphis, Wind 180 at 7. Oh, the glut. Let's see here. Of the runway 18, we are over here in the ramp area, so the easiest way to taxi out to a runway 18 is going to be via November straight onto 18 right. Goodo. Departure route is the Curson 7. What's the wind doing? 180 at 7. So 0/7. 7 knots of headwind. And 135, 135, 147. Good-o. Watch out for the ILS capture. Cool, will do. Worst case, we can always hand fly the thing. Memphis SID, runway 18 right, Curson 7. Is it hums? It is. Insert. Alright, so for Curson 7 from runway 18 right, the hums transition. Straight out top of climb, tings, and then down we go. For the other side, I guess I'll wait for that. Do that airborne. The takeoff, the flux is going to be 59. Sorted. V climb speed is 218 knots, and that's what we set up here. Set. I'll just give it back to the FMS speed. We'll be taken off with that anyway.
Memphis traffic, FedEx 248.
Okay, now it's time to grab that APU, which is all the way over there. APU start. I'll start flashing as the APU power comes up. Also going to double check that we are on flaps 15 request. That is set. Our takeoff will be flap 15. Good question is, do we have easy access to a... I don't think we do. Go ahead and close bulk cargo, by the way. Looks like we are done with loading as well. Just need to get rid of the stairs. Do that. Leave the chocks on. APU's running. Gonna need that on to the APU bleed. That'll give us some air conditioning. Gonna select engine ignition, alpha. Pop the navs on, pop the beacon, not sure about the beacon yet. Put the logo lights on. Beacon remains off for the moment. Got a couple of things to do, including a checklist, which I haven't used for many a year. Where is my MD-11 checklist? Do I have it? I do. Awesome. I think this is the first time I've used this in at least 3 years. It's a FedEx one as well. Aircraft log reviewed. Fuel quantity. What do we have? currently £39,000, and the request from here, over there, sorry, is 39,600, which is what we've got. Goodo. Oxygen masks tests. It's that thing there. Not sure if that's actually modelled. Yeah, iris is aligned. Altimeters. Definitely not 2992. $2997. There we go. $997, and over here. Set. 997 set. Also, I'll need to set this standby. So just uncage it, and it'll flop around for a while until it gets used to where gravity is.
Memphis traffic, FedEx 248.
And then we'll recage it. So that means a little bit stabilized compared to gravity. Because gravity changes if you change direction in the aircraft, because G-forces will pull you in random directions. So, don't want that. Going to select a heading of 180. It's actually 183 at this airport. And I've armed the navigation node. Emergency lights are still disarmed. Is that in the checklist? I'm sure it is. We'll get to it. Status page. Where's that page thing? It's not in the same place that it is on there. It must be down here. Stats. There we are. Status page. We've got the battery switch off still. Alright, let's do that. And the armed emergency power. Auto brake is currently showing off, and it needs to be in RTO. There it is. And the emergency lights need to be armed. They are there. Slowly remembering how to fly this aircraft. It's probably a good idea to go through this checklist with a fine-tooth comb. It'll take a while. Takeoff warning.
Full lap.
Full lap.
Lap.
Slap.
Brake.
Brake.
Full lap.
Full lap. Love it. Stabilizer motion. Grab the A cars down here because it's easier. Alright, takeoff warning's been checked. Radar, I'm not sure it's actually simulated, but we'll do a check anyway. The good thing is we're not at a terminal and there's nothing in front of us except a hangar with the door closed, so I'm quite happy to just blast some radio beams down that way. So, weather radar, oh that's in terrain mode now. Radar is off. It's got to be down here somewhere. Where is it? There it is. Cool. Weather radar test. Yep, good old bitch and Betty. I'm not sure that's showing anything. What's up there? I need traffic. Got data. Tested nothing. That's alright, we'll go back to standby. Next item. Okay, custom forms are good. Auxiliary pump on. Oh, is that the... it's that thing up there. Cool. System auxiliary pump. Done. I didn't even remember that one, but somewhere in the back of my brain I knew where it was. Takeoff data. Runway 18, we have all of our V speeds set. V1 in rotation are both 135. V2 is 143, and we're climbing at the climbing speed, which was 216. Flaps will be 15 for departure. Park and brake is set. Windows. Well, they're closed and locked. Are these things even openable on this aircraft? That's only a PMDG thing. I'm guessing it's only a PMDG thing. Alright, cool. Can we at least chuck in a windscreen thing? Sunglasses? No. Oh well. It's FedEx. It's not like we're flying for a real airline here. Okay, doors are closed. Is the cockpit door closed? No, it's not. Doesn't matter. Gonna go back and have a look. Not that high. Cool, that door's locked. Red tag is down. Right, we're locked in. Initial climb's going to be, it's Memphis, it'll probably be 5,000. Good guess. The Wilson volleyball is indeed on board. Wilson! So the door's closed, beacon can go on, which is that little one there. PA, there's no one in the back there, but if you are there, welcome aboard FedEx Flight 2401 as a stowaway. Today it'll be very cold and you might not have air. G'day. Okay, ignition, we're on Alpha. We're not doing a manual start, we're doing an auto start. So packs are auto, ISO valves are auto, bleeds are auto. Fuel, auto. And that's up to the before start. We can now actually start if we need to. Let's get rid of the external power. And let's disconnect everything from the ground. GPU off. Chocks off. And before we start moving, does anybody have any requests on the stream? Anything you want to look at before we start putting engines on? Up here we have the general options, screen brightness for the thing. You can change from imperial to metric, so that's, you know, pounds or kilograms. Temperatures in Fahrenheit or Celsius. I've got that in Celsius because even America uses Celsius now. If you listen to an American ATIS, that's Celsius. Allow hardware overforce. That's if you move the yoke while the autopilot is on, it'll disconnect the autopilot. I actually want to say no to that, because if I get any noise on my pedals, and I do quite often, that might throw us for a loop. Once you've changed something, hit the save. Yes, the aircraft is quite difficult to land in the flare, and here's what I'll explain it as. As you come into the flare, you pull back like I normally do, and then you've got 50 degrees of flaps maybe, or maybe 35 if you like. Yeah, it'll flare. It's got a very small elevator compared to the rest of the fuselage. So you need to put a little bit of pull into there. So maybe something like that. As the aircraft's nose comes up, it's all good, and then as you touch down on the wheels are behind your center of lift, and so that will tend to push the nose forward at touchdown. So you need to pull back even more to hold the nose from slamming into the ground at touchdown. But then a fraction of a second later, your spoilers deploy, which are forward of the center of lift and lift the nose back up again. So as you're pulling back, you get the spoiler deployment. Now you have to push forward again to stop the nose over rotating after touchdown. So as it touches down, you need to pull back even more to stop it jamming its nose into the ground, and then you need to push forward slightly to stop it from over rotating and getting you a tail strike. And all that happens within like 2 seconds. So there's a bit of a dance with the yoke there. It's like pull back even more, push forward, and then let the aircraft settle. So that's something I got used to in the PNDG aircraft. Since I haven't flown that since I think 2014, somewhere around that. It's about 10 years since I flew the PNDG MD-11. So we're going to be out of practice, and it's going to be looking ugly this flight, I'm sure. Anyhow, down here you'll have engines, good to see. Hydraulic aux pump, seatbelt signs, automatic TO, APU's on, parking brake is on, and we have isolation on the air. I am ready for an engine start. Or pushback, actually. Let's do the push. I have not changed a single thing as far as sensitivities are concerned for this aircraft. I'm well set up for the 777. Let's put it that way. The only thing I changed was adding an extra throttle control, so I can individually move each throttle by itself. You'll notice that the EGPWS is only attached to the first 2 throttles. Third one's got nothing. Also true of the real aircraft. Alright, pushback. Yeah, 400 feet. Or a good old porpoising. Land halfway down the runway, all that fun. Let's go ahead and grab our charts.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Yo, we also are. Let's go. Apparently the automated system gave me a squawk code, so I'll chuck that in. It was 1067. Transponder is on.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
So all this stuff, there we are, the mechanic.
Locking gear.
Attendant. Maintenance info, and that's the one we need to be talking to right now. Okay, nose to the left.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brake released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Copy, we're going to go ahead and start engine number 3 first. Number 3. It's not quite as automated as the 777, so you do actually need to wait until you hit that blue tag before you introduce any fuel. Triple U just like on, go. And the automatic stuff does. Carrot 15%, engine 3, on. All temperatures cleared. EGT motoring. FedEx in its natural home. I'm going to start engine number 1 next and leave number 2 for last. Oh, there's, you know, the entire FedEx fleet and the UPS fleet. There's one other as well, I think. One other airline still using them, but yeah, the great majority of them are now, unfortunately, Coke cans. And obviously no passenger variants anymore. Mustafa, g'day.
Please set parking brakes.
Parking brake set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
We have 2 good engines. We can taxi back if we need to.
Cockpit's ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
And I'll start number 2. Ah, I did the wrong thing there. Twos to the triple. Alright, engine 2 set to run. Yeah, but the auto, it's not so much the autopilot will go haywire on you, because the autopilot will actually choose either AP1 or AP2, and AP1 is the captain side, AP2 is the first officer side. What will happen is the EFIS will start complaining that you've got a disagree between your altimeters. Obviously.
Left is clear, right is clear.
Yep, KLM had their last MD-11 in the year 2011. I remember it quite well. We'll take flaps 15. That's 2 down, so it goes into firstly the slats only, and then into what you've selected as your dialer flap. And the next one up for that would be 28. So it's flaps 0 with slats extended. Next one down would be flaps whatever that is, anywhere between 1 through to 25 inclusive. Brakes, parking brake, APU. APU can go off. Gotta turn it off there first. That clears the pack. And then turn the actual APU off. Done. That needs to be armed for takeoff. Brakes coming off. And now I've got a little green rectangle there, which means it's actually ready for takeoff. We're in. We are configured. Going to run the after start checklist. Anti-ice is not required. A nice sunny day. It's quite warm out here in the United States. APU is off. Hydraulic is auto. The entire panel is black. Air is auto. The entire panel is black. For takeoff, flaps have been set 15. Just want to check them. Flaps 15, right there. Spoilers have been armed. Trim. I'm in the green, but I'm just going to double check what it should be. Trim should be 4.6. Trim 4.6 set. 0 on the rudder and the ailerons. Briefing's completed. It'll be runway 18 right. Seatbelts are fastened. V-speeds are set. EAD checked. EAD is that little thing with the rectangle in it. So the rectangle is a rectangle. EAD checked. Radar I'll leave off until we get to the runway, and FCP, which is this thing, 5000, heading 081, FMS speed for takeoff. Lights on. Taxi light, that's everything I need. Let's move. Clear to taxi. You're getting weird autopilot abnormalities if you get a disagree on the altimeters. I would imagine that the annoying disagree message should be annoying by itself, but yeah, if the autopilot's bugging out, that shouldn't really happen. The autopilot should only be taking its cues from one flight director anyway. Yeah, that's cool. We won't, because I know this airport quite well. It's a FSDT airport. To arm the auto thrust, you just click on auto flight while you're on the ground. I know that's the autopilot as such, but it's also the auto throttle. But you won't click it on right now because the way that you engage the thrust is by pushing the thrust levers up to 70%, and at that point it engages the auto thrust and you end up with takeoff thrust. You don't want to do that on the ground. Been there, done that with a 737 at Ballina once before. It was concerning when you see your engines spool up and you're not actually on a runway. Just need a bit of extra thrust to get around that corner. Test the, is that thing? Weather radar can go on now. I'm actually going to go into terrain on my side. Come to a hold short, and we should be on some kind of CTAF, I suspect. One 197. Memphis traffic, FedEx 2401 is crossing runway 27 on the way to runway 18 right. Memphis traffic, FedEx 2401 MD-11 crossing runway 09 on the way to runway 18 right. I probably need to monitor CTAF as well as transmitting on the Unicom and CTAF at the same time. Always a good idea. Right, let's cross. Hi there, Sam. I'm using a Honeycomb Alpha. So as we look into the overhead, all the lights are off. They're black. This is a black overhead, so if you look up there and see lights that are on, that means something is bad. Might want to deal with that before you take off. So lights come on when the system is off. Hi there, Joe. No event today, no ATC. We're just flying Unicom, essentially. Unicom and CTAF. I'm mostly flying just to demonstrate the MD-11. Kind of its shakedown cruise, a little bit like how we did with the 777. But this time we're not actually trying to chase air traffic control, because that was clearly a failure last week when we kept on bouncing around the map and everybody kept on logging off the minute we got there. Fortunately, there is an event later on in the week. There's a Saitek event on Saturday, which I'm definitely bringing this thing to. Might even do a retro Saitek via passenger MD-11. How about that? Yes, Sam, it's the opposite of the Airbus logic. Exactly. Exactly how that works. And 737 logic pretends to be like that, but it's not actually like that. It's a bit half and half. Memphis traffic, FedEx 2401 MD-11 entering runway 18 right for departure, Memphis. Let's get all those lights on, shall we? Lights are on. Okay, the only light that's different to that on the overhead is the logo light, which is either a light to show it's on or a different light to show that it's off, which is really annoying. It's like there's one button that doesn't follow the rule. Terrain set where the radar goes on. That one. WX, do WXT. There we go. Yeah, the window heating lights. That's exactly it. Alright, we click auto flight, we click profile. Okay, we're now armed with the profile and the takeoff thrust ready to go. As we start to roll forward, got to line up again properly. There we go. Where the radar is on. I'm going to push forward to about 60%. Let it stabilize above 50. There we go. 50 stable. Toga. Thrust levers forward all the way. Before you hit 80 knots. 80 knots. Clamp. Now if you pull the thrust levers back to idle, you would reject the takeoff. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Keep that rotation going and going and going and going and going. So you hit about 20 degrees nose up and it will climb like a rocket. Okay, we're in climb thrust now. Bit forward on the yoke. Yeah, it is a little bit trimmy, isn't it? Gotta keep manual control for a second. Wasn't expecting that much pitch. Flaps can retract. So that's a flaps, what they call it? Flaps 0 on the aircraft. Flaps 0, and that's the other thing that gets retracted. Altitude, well above. Back to profile. All the way up to 39. Stabilize the motion. Okay, let's go to autoflight. Let's double checking. We have AP1, autopilot 1 in command. Checklist. After takeoff, landing gear is up, lights are out, flaps are up. I'm just waiting to retract the slats. We'll do it now. Slats retracting. Spoiler disarm. Auto brakes off. Once we can get our fingers into that space over there. Done. Okay, flap selected down to flap 15, which I believe it already was. Yep, that's a flap 15 on the flap selector there. Hydraulics are auto, air is auto, fuel is auto. And the EAD is clear. It's after takeoff, checks complete. We're a cargo airline, so I'm just going to turn on the seatbelt signs because no one's there to look at them anyway. Or that. Or that. Yeah, that Denver arrival was awful. The rest of them were good for the triple, but Denver, with all the stutters and stuff. Apparently we did have two airports loaded on top of each other. The default Osobo one from Vatsim premium version, which is apparently its own little add-on thing, and also the add-on from FieldApp. So yeah, that was unfortunate. Hopefully next time we go there the FPS will be a little bit better. Compare that to Dubai, the very next weekend. Dubai went well. Hopefully Kai Tak goes pretty well as well on this weekend. Touch wood. Running 300-ish knots, and these lights can be turned off as well. Okay, beacon, high intensities, and nav are all sorted.
Stabilizer motion.
Stabilizer motion. Okay, we are above terrain, so I'm going to switch that back to weather radar. I don't think the weather radar works in this aircraft. We got so excited by PDG 777. Yeah, same. Kai Tak. Saturday night, my time. That'll be good. There they go. The old 104% N1. Classic MD-11, climb out, N1. Remember seeing videos of MD-11s flying around. I had one from Just Flight, I think it was, of a city bird, MD-11. Yeah, seeing that 104% on the N1, it's just like, whoa, okay. Spencer, guess yeah. This aircraft actually flies with its ignition selected. It's not actually running, it's just armed, I guess you'd say. There's a windscreen wiper. You could wait for whoever them is to fix it, or you can download some scenery for it. They're your two options. Just Planes, that's the one. Citybird, MD-11. Great video. But yeah, instead of waiting for some third party you can't identify to fix Fort Worth, download some scenery. Whether it's the payware from who does it? FSDT, I think, do a DFW. Or if you don't want to spend the money, just download one for free from flightsim.to. Won't look as pretty, but it'll fix that problem. I found the same problem at Doha when I was sorting out that. Oh, it flies well. So far it's mostly on par with BeamDG. A little bit more pitchy, so a little bit less movement on your elevator. Possibly. Maybe. It's got an ACARS, so give it that. And it's got one of those things with charts all over it. It's not the best EFB I've ever come across, I'll have to say. I do like the PMDG one a bit better than the Phoenix one, but I guess it's functional, kind of, just. If the PMDG one is an iPad, this is definitely a Android. Someone got the Android tablet instead of the iPad one. I believe the FedEx boys park over here somewhere. In fact, I think it's in that little space there, right between Alpha 6 and Foxtrot. So we're going to be wanting to land on 3-5 left or 1-7 right, depending which way the wind's going. In fact, we can find out the way the wind is going by clicking on it. SDF, what's the wind doing? It is 18085. Alright, so now we know it's going to be runway 17 right. Looking to vacate probably Alpha 4, Alpha 3, and then turn back up to Alpha 6. What is the arrival? Damon 5. I believe we're coming out of Allen. Yep. So Allen, Sacco, Cherry at 11,000, which will be the bottom. 17 right. That's also true, Sam. At least it actually came packed with one. I reckon we can do a flap 35 landing at this weight. 143 knots, we don't need the 50. 50 only loses 3 knots anyway, and it adds so much drag, it's ridiculous. It'll be 35 landing.
Stabilize
Stabilize
motion.
motion. Start. Damon 5 from Alan on 7 right. Insert. Alan, Sacco, Cherry, Damon. Which one is 11,000 feet? It's Cherry at 11. Set. That'll be 250, I'm sure. Yep. Okay, back to here. Cherry, 250 at 11. And then vector's on. Yeah, that's very true, Spencer.
Altitude.
When's Q-Link losing all of theirs? Is it this year or next year?
Altitude.
And they've already been sending a lot of them over. It's a pity because they were a very nice aircraft. The old 717. But alas, all old things from 2001 are getting retired. 24 years old. Not a bad run. Mach decimal 8182-ish. That's where the test is, alright. Couldn't see it. I thought it was a white one. It's black. J Gamer. Yes, Oldcraft hasn't been too bad. Another game tomorrow night. Then I'll have to be off it for a little while because I'm preparing some band competition things. Yes, quite loud in the back of the plane. Yeah. Right between the engines there. What I've forgotten to do is that. Two 2992. So last week at Swordcraft we did the Battle of the Beard, which is elves versus dwarves, and I was a dwarf. Not in my usual colours. I had like lots of brown. I was wearing brown sleeves, brown pants, little brown apron over my the bottom end of my cuirass. Didn't have the feather on, and had a big fake beard. That's kind of cute. Wandering around in a fake beard is quite warm. Fokker 100 in the sim. That sounds fun. Not particularly recently, although last month I went out to do sitting in that seat over there with Mahmood for the Travel Air. Came out of Tyab, so I drove to Tyab, flew over Tyab, did the ILS down runway 26 at Essendon and back to Tyab. Should put a video up of the landing or something at some point. Yep. Hi there, back. Yeah, they did have a 146 at home. Yeah, there was some. Very much chaotic with the Melbourne trains, yes. Well, we do, yeah. So up here we have the big old massive fire handle. So you pull that down and it'll run the agent into there. But the yeah, vertical stabilizer, that would become quite difficult. Let's say the more engine thrust you have on your outer two engines, the more the aircraft wants to pitch up. So there's a good hint. Yes, you can put cargo in. Let's go make and have a stand up. Oop. Yes. So there's the toilet inspector. Unfortunately, there's nothing in there. You can't actually see a toilet. What we do have is a massive hole in the aircraft right here behind that door. Or maybe we can call that a glass toilet. Maybe that's the hole there. Yeah, it is certainly a visual step up. I'd say the FMS is just about right. Not to say that the PMDG wasn't, because it was. I've got a couple of extra features like the ACARS. Yeah, so far I haven't got any major problems with this aircraft. Yeah, the toilet is just a hole. And pee off the edge of the aircraft. Nice. Matt. Coming up on the top of the descent, I'm going to go ahead and make 11,000 set. Yes, it's kind of like grab handholds and free willy over the edge. Okay, let's talk about the approach itself. SDF, go. 17 right. Okay, 17 right, straight down ILS, and we want a bottom altitude of 200 RA or 685 on the other thing. Minimum set, we're coming up to the top of descent. And we're on the profile. Be flaps 35, speed 143 for the approach. This thing reckons there's ice detected. Well, it could be in that little tiny thing. Engines, wings. Checklist. Okay, and range altimeters. Might as well do it now, hey? Yeah, miss received. KSDF. altimeter is 3000. Set. Also no ice detected anymore. Ice detected. That's funny. I'll leave it on for the moment, but I don't think it's really detecting anything. Now we're underneath that cloud for sure. I reckon that ice might be a bug. I don't know, just to be sure I'm gonna blast some heat and let's leave it that way for a second. Get down to 20 something thousand feet and turn it off down there. Right, we want this set to, let's go medium. Lights, not yet set. I'll do the logo light. I think we'll leave that off until 10,000. Status page.
Stabilizer motion.
Check. Status page is only about the ice, so we'll leave that for the moment. Okay, seatbelts set. Approach briefing is completed. We've got the line of approach into ILS, runway 17 right, flap 35, and altimeter is 3000. Minimums are set 640, and radios are tuned. Check complete. Need a CTAF down in KSDF. $124.2. Set. There's the vector there. Alright, to select the speed, you need to get the arrow pointing down and then you click it with your left click. That'll let you do that. To put it back into FMS speed, you can just click FMS speed like that. Also, if you click the up arrow, like there, that'll just set the speed to what it currently is, whatever that happens to be. Same thing with the heading. Which I don't want to do that because it'll come out of nav. Which already has done it. Profile. The good old kangaroo flight, yes. All flying to Antarctica. Yeah, miss those 747s. I did only get to fly a Qantas 747 3 times in my life, but the last time was in 2020. So at least we have that. The reason I don't do X-Plane 12 is I don't own it. Don't have it at all. It's not one of the sims that I have. Air, hey? What's up with air? That's what's up with air. Cool, gotcha. Fixed. Miami to London Heathrow on the 74. Nice. My last flight in the 74 was Qantas Airlines from Melbourne to Sydney. It's the last leg of its Antarctic flight in January 2020. There's 13, gonna turn these things on. There's the landing lights on the just side of the nose there. They don't put them under the wing root because that is all slat. Approach speeds on these things are eye-wateringly fast sometimes, especially if you're quite heavy. And you put the slats out at like 150 knots. So the slat extend speed is just under 280 knots. Check. Coming up on the
Altitude.
Cherry. Yeah, it's about the same.
Altitude.
Gonna drop it down to 5,000. Open descent. Back to the profile. Okay, bulges at 3,000. Reckon I will open descent it, give us a bit of a shortcut. Right, let's drop it down to 3, make ourselves a massive shortcut. Traffic Louisville, FedEx 2401 MD-11, estimating to arrive runway 17 right at time 00 on the hour. It's Traffic Louisville.
Stabilizer motion.
Bunch of cloud in front of us. Okay, approach briefing completed. Altimeters have been set. Minimums are set, and the radio is eyeless. Lights are on, spoilers are armed. Auto brakes medium, and it's already on gear and flaps. Yeah, it's very early in the morning, like, what, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, something like that. Let's go, slats extend. Go direct to Bulgars. And we're in approach mode. It's probably better to give us a proper intercept angle on that. It's a bit sharp. Go 040 for now, and then we'll come back. 30-degree intercept there. And I'll take flaps 15. Now the most flaps you can have without the gear down is 28. Yeah, we're a little bit too high. Bulgars needs to be at 3. Yeah, we're at 4 now. We should be fine. I've seen 2 aircraft. I'm not sure if it's just freighter and passenger, or if it's 2 different engine types. But there's 2 options. Here we go. Into the incept, going to take out the speed. Speed 190. Get that coming around to there and that. Land arm heading 150. Runway 17.
Stabilizer motion.
Flaps 28. Cause we can. Look how much flap there is there behind the wing with the flaps up, with the gear up. It's almost as much as a 737 has, flaps 30. It's almost the maximum flap on a 777. It's so not the maximum flap on this aircraft. And back to FMS speed. Indeed, the A380 flaps, that like the wing's like 3 times the size of a normal wing, as far as, you know, thickness. Thanks for that, Caleb. I think that looked pretty good too. I'm going to hold off that D cell. Let's make it like 160.
Stabilizer motion.
Louisville traffic, FedEx 2401 MD-11 is final, runway 17 right, Louisville. There's glide slope capture, speed managed. FMS speed, sorry for the Airbusism. And gear coming down. Three down. And we're going to pull flaps 35. Currently in auto flight until I see something out the window. Okay, I've got ground contact.
Stabilizer motion.
Check. So do you want to do a auto land, or shall I manually fly this thing? Landing gear down, 3 green, flaps set 35. Checklist complete. Runway inside.
Stabilizer motion.
Yeah, I want to fly it myself.
1000. Autopilot.
My plane.
Glide slope,
Check.
glide slope, glide slope, glide slope,
Correcting.
glide slope, glide slope,
Need some trim for
glide
that.
slope, glide slope, glide slope, glide slope.
Stopped descending for now. There we go.
Approaching minimum. 200. Minimum.
Continue.
Minimum. 100.
Glide slope,
I'm
glide
happy.
slope,
40.
glide
30.
slope,
20.
glide slope.
10.
Versus around. Versus around. And vacating. Thanks for that, Sam. Did keep on getting low on the profile. That's something to watch out for. Kept on hitting the trim up. Ended up trimmed almost all the way up. Sure, that can't be usual. Flaps going up. Okay, I'll need the APU going. Getting to the APU is so hard in this aircraft. It's just all the way over there. Cool. Done. And we'll need to close the bleed on engine number 2 for that to work out. But for that we need to be in system manual to do that. So isolate and bleed. Done. Cool. It's a funny thing with the APU. It feeds into the second bleed number 2. And if you have bleed number 2 running with the engine, and then it tends to blow compressed air back up into the APU, and so you can't use the APU properly without shutting down that thing. Is this our apron? I think it is. Yeah, it is, that one there. So at this airport, UPS have pretty much the entire airport, and FedEx get to use this tiny little corner over here, like the plebs we are. Yeah, I know, but they do. There's like 2 flights a day that FedEx fly into here, which is hilarious. A bit of a flex, really. It's like, oh yeah, you've got an entire hub? Well, we're going to come here too. And then park here in the corner of your taxiway. Not UPS, not UPS, not UPS, not UPS. Not the terminals. Is it that one? No, it's not GA. It's literally that one spot there. I don't know what it's called in the chart. I guess we'll find out when we get there. I believe in the real world, FedEx don't operate the MD-11 to this airfield. They operate A300. There we are. Welcome to Louisville. Go up here, make sure that we are on the bus, and then shut it down. Middle engine first, then number 3. Oscillation off, that can go back in, that can go on. We are on the bus and shutting down number 1. D-board.
Boarding requested.
Don't need the hydraulics. Everything else looks fine. Okay, there's our stairs. I need services. Chuck the nose weight on, chocks, and GPU.
You want to deboard crew. Crew bus is coming.
Why? Why are you opening and closing the door? I want it open, not closed. GSX being a dumb, I see. A dummy dum dum. Yep, Wilson made it. And the air system doesn't need to be in manual anymore.
Crew deboarding started. Your crew has deboarded.
See, GSX has decided to do a dumb. Oh well. Thanks for that, Site Inspector. I did enjoy. That's my first flight at the MD. I kind of did a silly one yesterday, just as a setup check. Didn't get home from work. I finished work at 4 p.m. and I didn't get home from work until 8. That's 4 hours. It took me 4 hours to get home yesterday. Today I worked at home. Today I was like, nah, I'm not going to the office. That's just, no. Good old the Four Seasons, eh? Not Four Seasons landscaping, like like a certain lawyer, but the hotel. Hi, there's 777. Apparently someone decided to push someone onto the railway tracks and then proceed to walk on the railway tracks between two stations. Unfortunately, the railway track they decided to walk down was like the main one in the middle of the city. So it stopped pretty much every train line except one. So yeah, they shut down the trains for like a good hour, right in the middle of peak hour. And then to get everyone back on. For a while there, I couldn't even get onto the platform in my station. It's like, I've tapped on, I'm walking down, and there's a line to start going up the stairs to where the station is, and you can't get up there. So yeah, it took me like nearly an hour and a half just to get from standing outside the station to standing on the platform. It was just, what? Then when the trains finally did come through, of course, they were completely packed on arrival. So people getting onto the train was a pain. So yeah, that's what happened yesterday. Today, fortunately, the boss said, if you want, you can work at home. And I was like, oh, I certainly want. I certainly want. So I finished work at 4 p.m. and then I was streaming half an hour later. Done. Anyway, I enjoyed flying that, and I think the next thing that we'll be flying event-wise will be the Hong Kong event. And I saw that there was no FNO this week because they have crossed the land on the day after. So Sunday my time, Saturday in America, crossed the land. And I booked a flight from Cancun down to Lima, Peru, which is what we're doing. Not sure. MD-11 or 777. Have to think about that. I booked it as a triple, but the real route is a freight route with a 777. So, freight route. This is my freighter. I might well fly it as a MD-11. I'll have to give that some thought. But yeah. The real flight between those two locations, Cancun and Lima, Peru, all the passenger routes seem to be A320s and 737s. And then anytime it's like, oh, that's an interesting aircraft, it's a freighter. 767s, 777s. I think Emirates fly their freighter 777-200LR F on that route, which is like, hey, that's a 777, fly that. But I reckon I might fly one of these. Might not be FedEx, we'll see. Anyway, I think last weekend was the weekend of the triple. This weekend might be the weekend of the MD-11. Some thinking about that one. Let's see how we go. Anyhow, until next time, probably into Hong Kong. Hope you enjoyed the MD-11 and maybe you learned how to fly it a little bit. I'm a bit rusty. I used to fly the PMDG PMDG MD-11 quite a bit, but that was nearly 10 years ago now. So yeah, it's been a while. But you know, it's a bit like a bike. You remember some things. Just stick to the checklist, it should be fine. Till then though, I have been Musical Aviator. Bye for now.